Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where the Packers are celebrating their home opener against the New York Jets. Greg Gumbel along with Trent Green, Evan Washburn down along the sideline. We are set to get underway. It is a beautiful, beautiful September afternoon here in Wisconsin. 63 degrees. They say it may produce a shower a bit later. We'll see. Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. The New York Jets won the toss and have elected to defer, so they will kick it off to the Packers. Number 26, DeJuan Harris, is deep. The Packers still licking their wounds from a 20-point loss at Seattle 10 days ago, and we're underway. This returnable by Harris from the 2. Across the 15 and hit hard forward to about the 17 or 18 yard line. And here comes Aaron Rodgers, the Packers quarterback. Now in his 10th year out of California, a touchdown, an interception, and sacked 3 times in that opening night loss at Seattle. When we talked to him, Trent, bound and determined to do better today.
Yeah, last week he was under constant pressure from Seattle's defense. He didn't get much rhythm from a passing game standpoint, and today he wants to get into that rhythm early in the game.
You will see some defensive pressure today from the number 1 defense in the league. Lost ball on the ground. The New York Jets say they have it, and they do right off the bat. Sheldon Richardson, the defensive end, with the recovery.
Rookie center Corey Linsley with the exchange problem with Aaron Rodgers. That was one of the things we talked to Aaron Rodgers about. He felt very comfortable with the job that Linsley did last week against Seattle. Felt good about his offensive line in general. But that time there, whether the ball was short or Aaron pulled out of there too quick, the Jets end up with the ball in great field position.
Chris Johnson in the backfield. And Geno Smith calling signals out of the shotgun. Johnson can't get away. Maybe a yard, maybe not. Mike Neal, number 96, with the stop for the Packers. Geno Smith's numbers off of last week, 82.1% of his passes completed. A loss of 1 on the play, 2nd and 11. Smith to throw. Near side. Can't connect with his tight end, Jeff Cumberland. It'll be 3rd and 11. A solid offensive line in front of Geno Smith, centered by Nick Mangold, the 9th-year veteran out of Ohio State. And the Jets with an NFL best 212 yards rushing last week. Chris Ivory showed the way with 10 carries for 102 yards and a touchdown. Geno Smith says the Jets practiced with noise every single day this week. And they're going to need to call a timeout with time running down on the play clock.
Well, that was the crowd noise affecting Geno Smith not being able to get the play from the sidelines. You could see him put both hands over the ear holes on his helmet looking to the sideline. He couldn't hear it. He asked the official for a reset on the play clock. They weren't going to give it to him. Ultimately, he had to call that timeout, Greg.
Trent, can you ever really approximate the noise in practice that you encounter in a game?
You can't simulate it because no matter how loud you put the speakers or whatever music you put on to simulate the noise, it's just a different feel because you're enclosed in here. You know, at a practice field, it's just wide open, and you may have the speakers angled towards the field like a lot of the teams do, but there's nothing holding it in like a stadium does.
Okay, let's talk momentum. Obviously, the New York Jets had a chance to establish some with the turnover right on the first play. Now, if the Packers hold them to a field goal, does the momentum shift to the other side?
That's a win for the Packers if they're able to hold them to a field goal attempt. And really it comes down to Geno Smith's pass attempt on 2nd down. That was a throw he has to complete.
He needs the 6-yard line for a first down. Smith over the middle. Inside the 5 to Jeremy Curley. It'll be 1st and goal.
You'll see Curley come in from the right side of the screen. The tight end Cumberland clears out the middle. That gets A.J. Hawk to drop back in. Curley sits down right at the first down depth, catches the ball. Nice placement by Geno Smith.
Chris Ivory, the deep back behind Geno Smith. First and goal from the 4. The give is to Ivory. He plows his way to about the 1, maybe the 2. The Packers 3-4 defense with Troy Guyon in the middle, his first year here in Green Bay after 6 seasons in Minnesota. Matthews, Hawk, and Peppers joined at linebacker by Jamari Lattimore, who starts for Brad Jones, who's out with a quad injury. And the secondary includes the veteran cornerback Tremont Williams. Sheldon Richardson is in on offense and is in a blocking position. Smith stumbles out of the pocket, and he's going to run for it, and he's going to make it to the end zone for the touchdown. It wasn't pretty, but it's 6 points on the board.
Well, and this isn't a broken play. This isn't where it looks like he almost fumbles the snap. He gets stepped on trying to get away from the center. Sometimes it's the guard who steps on your foot. Sometimes it's the center. But it's a called pass all the way. Linebackers drop into the end zone for coverage. Geno Smith has nobody in front of him and gets it in the corner.
So Geno Smith, who rushed for 38 yards last week, gets the 2-yard touchdown. Nick Folk for the extra point. It is good. Green Bay's turnover results in 7 points for the Jets. 7-0 New York. Back after this. 5 plays, 16 yards, and the Jets are on the board after the turnover by Green Bay, and 7-0. The Jets with the early lead on the road here in Lambeau. Sheldon Richardson with the big fumble recovery. First snap of the game. Aaron Rodgers lost it. And Folk kicking to Dewan Harris. And this will sail all the way through and out of the end zone. And they'll come out to the 20-yard line. And once again, welcome to Lambeau, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Trent Green. And as I said, Evan Washburn downstairs. The Packers got spanked pretty good in Seattle. But the one thing that we've talked about as we prepped for this game is that Aaron Rodgers is a good guy to have going for you coming back.
You're right, Greg, and Aaron Rodgers is 12-0 coming off of a defeat as the Packers starting quarterback. So it's not exactly the way they wanted to start this game with a fumbled snap from center, but just know that this team responds and Aaron's that leader.
He's had his problems with centers revolving the door, and we'll talk about that, but Rodgers to throw, and the slant is good. That's across the 30-yard line, and the first down to Jordy Nelson.
Well, a week ago against Seattle, they weren't allowed to get big chunks of yardage. All of the wide receivers, not one of them averaged over 10 yards a catch, and that time there, they were able to pick up a big chunk on first down.
Rodgers in the offense, back at it in a hurry. Lacey in the backfield with him. On the move and tackled back behind the 30-yard line by Quentin Coples. So here's the big question we asked Aaron Rodgers. Can his offensive line hold off this front 7 of the New York Jets?
Well, Sherrod, filling in for Balaga, it's a pass protection thing, and Aaron Rodgers said he felt very comfortable with it. That time there, the coverage was good downfield, and he just held on to the ball too long.
2nd and 14.
Andy 2.
Look out over here.
319. Get up.
Rodgers stepping up, going deep, and that's incomplete. Pass intended for Nelson, and Darren Walls is covered.
And that was really due to the pressure that was applied to Aaron Rodgers in the pocket. He wasn't allowed to step into this throw. Nice job by Walls being in position, but if Aaron Rodgers has more ability to step into his throw, you can see there he has to take a short step and has contact as he's releasing, not allowing him to follow through and get the ball upfield.
Mentioned it earlier, coming into week 2, the New York Jets, #1 in the league in yards allowed, passing yardage allowed, and rushing yardage allowed on defense.
319. Get up.
Now on 3rd and 14, here comes another pressure and another sack. Back at the 16-yard line, this time Demario Davis. A trademark of a Rex Ryan defense. You don't know where it's coming from.
Well, that's the thing that the Jets like to do, is they like to bring pressure, and they bring it from a bunch of different places. A lot of times they'll show 7 guys at the line of scrimmage, and then they drop somebody out, almost a zone blitz scheme to drop somebody extra into coverage. This time they bring all 7, not enough guys for the Packers to block. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a quick throw to get it out of his hand when it's 3rd and long.
Jalen Saunders, the rookie out of Oklahoma, stands back at his 35 for the punt. Drifting back to the 25. Penalty marker flies. The crowd wants a block in the back, and they might get one here. Walt Anderson is our referee today.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 15, receiving team. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, timeout.
Salim Hakeem guilty of the penalty, and that will back the Jets back. And it'll be in a hole as we get started here with their second possession and a 7-0 lead. .10:57 to play in the first quarter. The penalty, the block in the back, has backed the Jets up to their own 16-yard line, and that's where they will begin with Chris Johnson trying to turn the corner, and he'll get a couple out to about the 19. A reminder, you can follow all of today's football action. Download the CBS Sports app now for lightning fast scores, breaking news, video, maybe even a color autographed picture of Trent Green. More, all on your phone. 2nd and 7. Geno Smith with time and hits his tight end, Jace Amaro, the rookie out of Texas Tech. That's close to the 25-yard line. That'll leave him about a 3rd and 1.
Well, they're excited about Amaro's 2nd-round pick out of Texas Tech, as you said, Greg, and just that 2 tight end set. And when you have running backs like Ivory and Johnson, you want to utilize that package as much as you can and get into these 3rd and shorts, make it a much more manageable 3rd down.
Chris Ivory in the backfield with Geno Smith. He's going to keep it and pitch it. And Curley down the sideline, breaking free into Green Bay territory and out of bounds. Nice fake by Geno Smith, and then pitched it to the flying Jeremy Curley.
Well, and I talked to Dom Capers about what happened last week against Seattle and why was Seattle so effective running the football. I said, was it a matter of disciplining your gaps or missed tackles? He said it was more missed tackles. That time there was an assignment issue because there was nobody outside for Geno Smith.
39-yard pickup. Smith rolling, keeping it, and sliding down inside the 30-yard line. Let's get an NFL Today update from New York. JB and Coach Bill Cowher.
Greg, you knew J.J. Watt would be and not a sack, not a batted pass, but a corner route. Yes, that's J.J. Watt catching a touchdown pass from Ryan Fitzpatrick, his first of his career. In college, he had a career touchdown, tight end receptions, but 7-0 Houston. Greg Gumbel.
All right, guys, thank you. This is Chris Johnson, left side. You know, now J.J. Watt's catching touchdown passes. He'll be doing every other commercial that he isn't doing so far.
Well, maybe that was part of his contract. You know, he just got that extension. Maybe that was part of it. He had a clause in there. He gets to take a few snaps on offense.
I believe he has what they call a motor.
Yes, he does. A non-stop motor.
Bilal Powell into the backfield on 3rd and 3 for the Jets. Smith down the sideline, has a man open. He got him for the touchdown. Eric Decker. His first touchdown catch as a New York Jet.
Nice job by Decker with his release. He's able to get away from Sam Shields. get up that left sideline. The impressive part about, for me, was Geno Smith, his ability to step into that throw, knowing a linebacker was blitzing, knowing he was going to take a big shot. He's able to step into the throw, absorb the shot, but put the ball right in stride to Decker down the sideline.
29 yards. Nick Folk for the extra point. Remember, this is a drive that started back on their own 16-yard line. The kick is good. To say that it's a stunned Lambeau crowd is an understatement. 8:24 to play in the first. The Jets are up 2 touchdowns. Geno Smith engineering a 5-play, 55-yard drive. The Jets have 100 total yards and Green Bay -1 here in the first quarter.
And that's one way coming on the road, coming into Lambeau. They were fired up at the start of this game, but they got quiet real fast with the type of start that the Packers had offensively. And like you said, Greg, they just put together a tremendous drive going down the field and getting their second touchdown of the day.
We were joking with Geno last night about this friendship that he's developed with Eric Decker. It seems to me that's a natural thing for a quarterback to do, is develop a relationship with your wide receiver.
Yes, and we said the same thing to Eric Decker. When you come in, make sure you make friends with the quarterback. He's looking to get the ball upfield, and Decker's done a nice job for him, not only last week, but of course coming up with that big catch right there.
Dwan Harris is deep, and this one will be returned. No, he won't. He's going to take a knee 8 yards deep in the end zone. And Green Bay will start at their own 20. Let's go back to that touchdown.
Well, you're going to see coming off the slot here, and then you got Matthews coming in there off the twist. They're putting a lot of pressure on it. And just the thing, you have to have a lot of respect for Geno Smith. He steps right into the throw knowing he's going to take a clean hit, and he puts that ball right on the money down that left sideline. And just his ability to focus downfield. That's one of the steps you have to make as a young quarterback, having the ability to keep your eyes and keep your focus and keep that accuracy down the field, knowing you're going to get hit.
Marty Morningweg, and the offensive coordinator for the Jets, and head coach Rex Ryan say that Geno Smith has made giant strides, not just in his play, but in his preparation. Quick pass to the near side. That's complete to Jarrett Boykin, and that is out to about just across the 25-yard line.
And that's a good drive starter play. Get the ball out of your hands quickly, get it outside, get it in space. Nice job by the Packers. They're making the first defender miss and getting the ball upfield.
Aaron Rodgers looking to develop a little rhythm and get the Packers back into this game. From the shotgun, stepping up, now on the move. And just had to throw it away.
Well, and that's a big win for the Jets defense, because we did have a chance to talk to Rex Ryan last night, and he said he would rather, this was strange to hear, he said he would rather keep Aaron Rodgers in the pocket because his most explosive plays, his big plays, are when he gets outside the pocket, he makes things happen with his feet, but he's just buying time for those receivers to get open downfield. So the fact that he was scrambling, had to throw it away, that's a win for the Jets.
Rodgers also said they would try to give the Jets as little time as possible to substitute. And he brings the Packers to the line right away. 3rd and 4.
Beta 5-2's Mike. 5-2. Ready.
Rodgers with time, throwing far side of the field and reaching for the ball, and making the catch is Jordy Nelson.
Jordy Nelson does an in and out, trying to get the defender Walls to think he's going to do a slant, very similar to the route that Decker just ran for the touchdown.
Back at it in a hurry. This is Lacey. Lacey on the mend from concussion symptoms, and Mike McCarthy said he was just ready to go today. Again, no huddle for the Packers.
Well, and one of the ways to alleviate a defense's pressure is in combination of packages like the Jets are doing is to get the quick snap, and you can see the Packers getting to the line quickly every time.
2nd and 9. Rodgers. Pump, pulls it down, on the move, tripped up. See if he got the first down. It appears he might have it close to the 40-yard line of the New York Jets. Demario Davis tripped him up. That is a Green Bay first down.
The Jets are doing a good job up the field covering, and Rodgers doesn't have his first couple throws. He takes off and is able to pick up that first down, but Davis does a nice job of reacting, coming up and getting a shoestring tackle.
New set of downs for Rodgers at the Jets 41.
319. 319 up.
With time, little flare out to Lacey. Lacey with running room, looking for first down yardage. Goes out of bounds right at that marker. He has enough for the first down at the Jets 30. Veteran teams don't panic when they fall behind by 2 touchdowns, do they?
Veteran teams and veteran quarterbacks, and you can see they hurry up to the line of scrimmage because they want the defense to think they're going to snap the ball quickly. Sometimes they milk the entire clock trying to get protection declarations, and other times they snap it quickly.
5-2, let's go.
Andy 2, Andy 2, Andy 2.
5-6,
Yeah, pinch it. Stop, pinch. 319. 319 up.
Rodgers steps up, has all kinds of time. Sideline, that's complete. To the 20-yard line, Randall Cobb. And that is another Green Bay first down.
And this is an area of the field, when you get down to that 20-yard line in the red zone area, you look for pressure. A lot of times defenses like to bring pressure, hoping to get that sack, hoping to get that negative play to knock you back, maybe out of field goal range or just to put more pressure on the offense in the existing downs.
So they're right to the line again. Still 13 seconds remaining on the play clock, and Rodgers is ready to go.
319 up.
Under pressure again, he lost the football on the ground. The Jets have it. The question is, was he trying to throw it? Rodgers says he was.
It wasn't a normal throwing motion. He switches it over to his left hand.
The ruling on the field was a shovel pass. It's an incomplete pass. It's second down.
Not Aaron Rodgers' prettiest pass he ever threw, but it did the trick.
Well, he likes to improvise, and there, having it over in his left hand, he sees he's under pressure and just trying to flip it up with his left hand. Good call by the officials, though.
Leger Douzable, the 7th-year defensive lineman from Central Florida, almost got there. 2nd and 10. Rodgers floating to his left, now under pressure, throws complete inside the 15-yard line to Lacey.
And Rodgers under pressure again, gets hit after he throws. Whether you're a veteran guy that can deal with the pressure or not, those take their effect as the game continues.
So now it's a 3rd and 2 as we duck under 4.5 minutes to play here in a very quick first quarter. Eddie Lacy alongside Rodgers. Just got the play off. Rodgers throws inside the 5-yard line, and that is a catch at the 1-yard line made by Nelson.
And look for the Packers to get up on the ball quickly and get a snap in so this doesn't get challenged.
What a grab by Nelson. You have to reach back, it would appear. And Rex Ryan has thrown the challenge flag. And that ball looked like it bounced off the turf.
New York is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass.
It appears it doesn't only bounce once, it bounces a couple times.
So Walt Anderson will take a look. We'll take a break. This is the NFL on CBS. Welcome back to Green Bay, and as Walt Anderson continues to look at this one, Mike Carey in our studio, our officiating expert. Don't you wish all of them were this easy to call, Mike?
Yeah, I might still be on the field, Greg. The key to this one is that the receiver has to have clear control before that ball hits the ground, and that didn't happen in this case. This will be reversed very quickly.
Yeah, Trent and I were saying one of the indicators is when the receiver hurries and spots the ball for the officials and helps the offense jump start.
Yes, yeah. He's just hoping and hope.
Pass is incomplete. It'll be 4th down on the 13-yard line. New York will not be charged a timeout.
Mike Carey, thank you very much. And the call is overturned until the line of scrimmage is once again the 13-yard line. Trent, your point was that it bounced a couple of times. How appropriate. We had Charles Barkley in the studio today. It looked like Jordy Nelson was dribbling inside the 5.
Yes, Charles was in studio for the whole show. He had opinions on a bunch of different things going on in the National Football League and even made some picks along the way.
Mason Crosby, 15 straight field goals going back to last season. This one from 31 yards out to get the Packers on the board. And it is good. 4:06 to play here in the first quarter. First points. A little scuffle on the field. They'll break that up. We'll be back. 4:06 to play in the first. Let's check in for the first time today downstairs with Evan Washburn. Evan.
Greg, thanks so much. We've already seen the Packers offensive line. It's under a microscope, and specifically, it's Brian Bulaga. He's out, so Derek Sherrod comes in. It's important to note, this is his first extended action for the former first-round pick. He had a leg injury in 2011. He came in Seattle. He gave up those 2 sacks in the fourth quarter. We've already seen 1 here early in this game. I spoke with Mike McCarthy yesterday. I asked him, what does Sherrod need to do? He said, look, it's been a long road back for him, but he's stronger than ever. He just needs to get out of his head, stop thinking so much, cut loose, and play.
Evan, thank you. We talked with Aaron Rodgers about it, and Aaron expressed a lot of confidence in his offensive line.
Well, there was questions about that. We talked about Lindsley being the rookie at center, and they had the fumbled snap on the first play of the game, but they've been happy with that offensive line in general, and you can see today a lot of the pressure is due to the fact that he's not getting the ball out of his hands quickly because the coverage is so good down the field.
Salim Hakeem is deep for the Jets. And he will not return this one through his hands and out of the end zone. So the Jets will start from their own 20. Gives us a chance to remind you this Thursday, your football week starts here. We bring you to the NFC South to check in on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they take on Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Big-time matchups go prime time. Thursday Night Football on NFL Network and CBS. Josh McCown, Matt Ryan. Boy, Matt Ryan had himself a day first time out, didn't he?
Yeah, they had a nice shootout there with the Saints in week 1 and put up those huge numbers.
Falcons ended up losing today. Chris Ivory now in motion, but the give is straight ahead. As we move under 4 minutes to play here in the first.
Well, that's what the Jets need to do. They like to control. Their offense is about a control offense. You talk about from a running game standpoint, Ivory being that power back and Johnson being the guy to stretch it and get outside with his speed.
Ivory in the backfield with Geno Smith. Smith pulls it back and throws far side. That's Decker, and Decker across the 35 to the 37 and a first down.
If you're going to play 12 yards off of Eric Decker, just run up and run an 8-yard hitch, get the first down, and Sam Shields is giving him way too much respect. I know he just got beat on the deep route, but that was a double move that he jumped to the inside. So giving him that big a cushion, you're giving Geno Smith a completion.
Coming this way is Chris Johnson, and Johnson wrestled to the ground at about the 40-yard line. Mike Neal and Jamari Lattimore with the tackle. Pick up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Well, I talked just a minute ago about the combination of Ivory as the power back and Johnson as your speed back, and I told Rex Ryan last night, I said it's nice when your power back can take off on a 71-yard touchdown run. He's got that kind of speed, so it's a good combination to have for Rex.
He agreed. Quick pass, that's Curley, and Curley diving across the 45 and looks to be about a half yard short of a first down.
You knew there had to be a quick throw in there when they let the defensive end or outside linebacker come off free from that left edge. They're trying to bait him into getting upfield because you're trying to dump it over the top. Good job by Curley in open space getting it upfield.
3rd and short yardage. Tommy Bohannon in at fullback. The give is to Bohannon straight ahead for a first down. Bohannon's first carry of the season.
Well, it's nice to throw those guys a bone every now and then. You know, all the blocking that he's doing for those backs, you know, just give him the ball every now and then, just feed him a little bit.
First down Jets now at the 49. Geno Smith throwing sideline. Nice defensive play made on the near side. That's Tremont Williams.
This is just an isolated route with Geno coming out on the outside, just trying to hit that outside. Nice job by Williams coming back to the ball. You'd like to see Decker. He sits down on his knees and waits for the ball. If he comes back to it, gives a couple steps back, that's going to be a completion. Williams does a nice job getting his hand in there and knocking it away.
2nd and 10. The give is to Ivory, and Ivory across midfield and brought down at about the 47 of the New York Jets. You know, we were talking with Geno Smith. He said, you know, what was his reaction when Eric Decker signed with the Jets? First thing I did was got his phone number and called him up.
That's a veteran for a second-year quarterback. That's a veteran move to make. You know, you want to. The thing I was impressed with, he talked about his offseason and the preparation that he did in the film that he studied and how much he wants to be better. He definitely put the work in this offseason.
3rd and 6. Geno Smith spreads the field. He's going to keep it straight ahead. Running room. First down inside the 40 to about the 39, maybe the 38-yard line.
Nice job up front by the offensive line. You're going to see Geno Smith, he takes off and runs right in the middle. And we talked to him about protecting himself. Last week he had several runs where he was taking big contact. That time there, once he realizes he has the first down, he goes down to avoid that big hit.
The Jets 5 for 5 on 3rd down conversions today. And this one is going to be thrown for a loss. Chris Johnson dragged down by Mike Daniels. And that would appear to be the last play of the first quarter. We'll take a break and go to the second quarter. The Jets 14 and Green Bay 3. As we get set to start the second quarter, we want to send along our sincere best wishes for a speedy recovery to former Green Bay Packer great quarterback and coach Bart Starr, Hall of Famer, who suffered a minor stroke this week, and we are told he is resting comfortably in a hospital in the Birmingham, Alabama area. Feel better, Bart. 2nd and 16 for Geno Smith and the New York Jets. Smith throwing complete to Ivory, and Ivory can't find much running room, wrestled down at the Green Bay 41.
Well, for Geno Smith coming in now, this is 3rd and long, and you look for him to throw an underneath pass, maybe 5-6 yards downfield. If he gets tackled right away, that gets you in makeable or doable field goal range. If you're able to break a tackle or make somebody miss, then you pick up the first down.
3rd and 13, and here come the Packer fans. Powell straight ahead. Powell still on his feet. Looks to be about a yard short of a first down. A.J. Hawk tripped him up.
Nice quick hitter right up the middle of the offensive line here. You can see the trap.
If you're Rex Ryan, do you go for this, Trent?
No, you kick the field goal. Well, they're going for it, but I'm saying you kick the field goal. You're on the road. You kick the field goal. That still gives you a 2-touchdown lead. Now all of a sudden, this could be a potential momentum changer if Green Bay stops them.
Chris Ivory in the backfield. Smith lets it go. It's complete inside the 25 to the 23-yard line to Eric Decker for a first down. Bold move by Rex Ryan.
Well, and that's why he's a gambler. He's a gambler as a defensive coordinator. He's a gambler with the pressure he brings, and now going for it when you're in field goal range, coming down to a sit-down route and a reaction there, an out move by Decker.
Was it last night I called him brash? He said I prefer bold.
He said brash has a negative connotation. I prefer bold.
This is Ivory turning the corner on the right side.
Well, and just talking with him last night for the 15-20 minutes we spent with him, you can see why the players enjoy playing for him. You can see the energy he brought to our meeting. You know, he gets his guys going, and that's why the guys enjoy playing for him so much, and they play so hard for him. Because they know he's got their back, and gosh, he's high energy.
2nd and 4. This is Ivory. Dancing a little bit, can't find an opening as the Packers plugged all of the gaps.
If they're going to commit that many guys to the box and just leave one-on-ones on the outside, that time on the far side of the field, Tramon Williams was one-on-one with Decker, and he gave him an 8 to 10 yard cushion. You can just come out, throw that hitch again like they did earlier, and pick up the first down.
Powell in the backfield now with Smith on 3rd and 3. Curley in motion to the far side of the field. Geno Smith stepping up on the move, throws out here to the side. This is Powell to the 10, to the 5, inside the 5 and out of bounds. It'll be 1st and goal.
This is great composure by Geno Smith. He has his eyes up the field. You'll see the vision he has. There's no one there for him, so he starts to scramble. A lot of times as a young quarterback, when you start that scramble, you lose that vision upfield. He knew right away where that 3rd, 4th check down, the swing route on the backside, he knew right where to go and dump the ball off.
1st and goal. This is Bilal Powell, and not much there. May have lost a yard or two.
Had a chance to talk to Dom Capers about what the different personnel groups, what problems they present. Obviously, they have Michael Vick, the Jets do. They could bring him in. He talked about the Wildcat, which we just saw right there. Lots of different formations and personnel groups. He said you can't have different packages for those different personnel groups. You just have to run your defense and be disciplined in your lanes.
17th play of this drive. Ivory looking for the end zone. Touchdown. Boy, good leg power on the part of Chris Ivory.
Nice job to keep your legs moving, keep it moving. You're pushing that entire pile. The thing is, it looks like he's going to be short of the goal line, but he's on top of everybody else's body. And as he keeps pushing his legs, he basically just rides that wave of linemen across the goal line.
Ivory with the touchdown. The Jets looking to go up 21-3.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
They will take a closer look.
He never goes down because he's got 3 linemen he's on top of as he's sliding across and breaks the plane.
So they'll take a real close look. We'll take a timeout and come back to Green Bay in just a moment. Here we are back in Green Bay, and once again a quick look. And you see number 33, Chris Ivory, reaching.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
An 8-minute, 28-second drive by the Jets.
Big 3rd downs that they converted in the drive. Huge 4th down gamble when they're in field goal range that they converted on the drive. Right now they've got Green Bay's defense on their heels.
Nick Folk for the extra point, and it's good. 10:38 to play. Gang Green leading Green Bay. I'm standing here with Trent Green.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. State Farm. Pump up your savings with a discount double check today. And by Domino's. Visit Domino's.com.
Lambeau Field, one of the great tailgating destinations in the National Football League.
Well, and it's just such a great setting because it's right in the neighborhood. You know, you're driving in, you're passing people in their front yards, on their porches, tailgating, and here we are in the parking lot.
And they're waving to you.
That's right, they are. Very friendly city.
21-3 Jets. Nick Folk set to kick it away. Dewan Harris, number 26, is deep. And he will bring this one out from about 5 yards deep. Turning the corner, running room up the sideline and bumped out of bounds. Good job on the return by Dewan Harris. Time for us to go green with Trent. What are we looking for, Trent?
Well, we're going back to last week and the Jets' pressure they were able to apply to the Raiders. Here they show 7 in the box. They're going to bring 7 defenders, only six guys protecting for the Raiders. But what the Jets like to do is here they bring those 2 linebackers and 1 secondary. They drop that defensive end outside linebacker out into coverage. What Aaron Rodgers has to do is when he sees that, he has to get the ball out of his hands quickly, unlike Derek Carr a week ago.
Today, 2 sacks, 7 hurries, and 5 knockdowns by the Jet defense. First down at the 36. Rodgers on the move, had to throw it away. In our conversations yesterday, Trent, this is not your typical, and I say typical the last few years, kind of Jets defense. All of the pressure comes from up front. They're not a back-heavy defense.
Well, that's why they've been so strong in the secondary in previous years, and that's what's, you're right, Greg, different about the Jets defense. Their front 4, their linebackers, that's where the strength of this defense lies.
Penalty marker on the field.
An eligible player, number 63 of the offense, was downfield during the pass. That penalty is declined. It's second down.
That is the rookie center Corey Linsley guilty of that. So Rex Ryan declined. And it's 2nd and 10. Rodgers, quick pass, complete across the 40, close to the 45 to Randall Cobb.
That time the Jets tried running a delayed blitz. They just brought their down 4. They brought a guy off the slot. But because he came from such a long distance, Aaron Rodgers was able to get that ball off quickly. Quick little 5-yard hitter over the ball.
Statue, ready, set! 319! 319 on it! 258! 258!
And Rodgers finally got them to jump.
Well, that's going to be offense. Aaron came pulling out of there thinking the ball was going to get up there quicker than that. They went through all that talk and all that cadence trying to get the Jets to declare where the pressure was going to be and give the offensive line an advantage, and the Jets didn't bite.
I love all the finger pointing that goes on at the line of scrimmage.
Neutral zone infraction, number 97, defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Calvin Pace guilty of the offside. And that's a new set of downs.
Watch Aaron Rodgers' heels here. You can see him rocking back on his heels as he's trying to get the snap. You see him leaning away. This is on Aaron Rodgers. The officials just miss it.
Unfortunately for the Jets, they're the ones that count. First down, close to midfield.
Over. 319! 319!
Looking for running room and spinning across midfield is Randall Cobb. And a reminder, Big Bang Theory, time traveling to a new night. Monday with back-to-back episodes. Don't miss Emmy winner Jim Parsons as the new season begins Monday, September 22nd, only CBS. Jet defense has allowed just 14 rushing yards so far today. And being wrestled down at the 45-yard line is Randall Cobb once again. 3rd and 4.
Well, and the Packers are trying to spread them out. That time there, they went 3 wide to the left. They brought the tight end out, spread out wide to the right, trying to get that defense to spread across the field and hit one of the lanes. Just that front 4 of the Jets is just manhandling the line of the Packers.
Rodgers in the shotgun this time on 3rd down and 4. Quick pass this side, that's complete. And across the 40 and breaking 3 is Jordy Nelson, and Nelson out of bounds. It's a first down for Green Bay. Trying to figure out where they will place the ball down. It appears to be at the Jet 28-yard line.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the Green Bay bench. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced. It'll be 1st and 10.
Mike McCarthy deeply upset.
We had a chance to talk to Jordy Nelson, and he said last week against Seattle they weren't able to break through any tackles as a receiving group and get those extra yards.
I think Mike McCarthy would be angry and believe that his receiver was hit out of bounds. A late hit by Sheldon Richardson.
Well, and that's what the sideline violation was, is after Richardson drove him into the ground, the sideline reacted and yelled something to the official that drew that flag.
First down from the Jet 43.
Ready, set.
Lacey trying to bounce outside. May have lost yardage on the play. Demario Davis making the play.
And just when Lacey makes the first guy miss, you think he's going to get some positive yards. It's like, oh, here they are. They're gonna finally get a crack in this this Jets run defense. And man, they just swarmed to the ball and didn't let him go anywhere.
Listed as a no gain on the play. It's 2nd and 10. And Rodgers going to go deep down the near sideline. Reaching for it, incomplete, flag thrown. Antonio Allen guarding Jordy Nelson. And this will be against the Jets.
Pass interference, number 26, defense. First down.
They say DeJuan Landry, but that's Antonio Allen on the coverage.
And Antonio Allen, you can see him get his hands on there, and he's pushing him at that point in time. And that's where the contact comes into play. He doesn't turn around and look for the ball. Yes, he does get his head around at the end right as the ball is coming in. But that initial contact that was made as Jordy was going up for the ball is what drew that flag.
So a new set of downs for Green Bay at the Jet 16-yard line. Rodgers rolling, throwing, out of bounds. Chased down from behind by Quentin Coples applying the pressure.
Well, this is just a problem. This is just a situation of Aaron Rodgers getting a little greedy. He comes out and he has the flat right away to the tight end, and he's looking upfield. He wants one of those two backside crossers that are in the end zone. Just come out with the way that things have been going and how hard it's been to get yards against this Jets defense. Come out and hit the tight end in the flat right away, get that 3, 4, 5 yard gain instead of trying to get the big one.
On 2nd and 10. The slant inside, incomplete. Inside the 5-yard line to Jarrett Boykin. I thought what Jordy Nelson told us was interesting yesterday, Trent. He was talking about the Jets always show pressure looks, whereas Seattle always has 7 guys sitting back off of the line.
Well, that's how good Seattle's front four is.
The Jets called a timeout quickly as Aaron Rodgers snapped the ball in a hurry. So the Jets use their second timeout and will take 1-2, 21-3 New York. Hey, Saturday on the Home Depot SEC on CBS, the Florida Gators get a huge early season test visiting the Alabama Crimson Tide. It all begins with college football today at 3 Eastern here on CBS. Trent, that SEC football stuff is fairly decent, isn't it?
That's good football. You know, it's hard to pull away from it when you have good games every single weekend.
3rd and 10. Green Bay 2 for 4 on 3rd down so far today. Rodgers, no room to move that way, comes back to the near side. Now keeping, shakes a tackler to 10, out of bounds at the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal. What a job by Aaron Rodgers.
Nice job by Aaron Rodgers keeping this play alive. He keeps his eyes upfield, but I want you to watch from the left side of your screen right at the end. Eddie Lacy's going to come in and get a big block on Davis, and that's what breaks Rodgers to get that first down.
So Green Bay now 1st and goal at the 5. Lacy in the backfield. Play clock to 3, to 2. Got the snap off. Rodgers throwing, end zone, incomplete. Broken up by Allen, intended for Boykin. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, and Aaron Rodgers gets away with one here. He tries forcing one in late. It's one thing to try and hit that thing quickly, but he tries getting it late in the back of the end zone. Puts it on the back hip. Antonio Allen has a chance to come up with that interception. He's only able to get one hand on it and knock it away.
2nd and goal. Lacy again in the backfield alongside Rodgers.
Look at the combination route up at the top of the screen.
Quick pass by Rodgers. That falls incomplete, and Rodgers is not happy about something.
Rodgers isn't happy, and you can see Cobb and Jordy are both talking to each other. Somebody missed the call. From that angle and from that look, it appears like it's Jordy, but based on the conversation between Jordy and Cobb afterwards, who knows who's that's on.
3rd and goal. Lacy straight ahead. Stopped at about the 3, and now Mike McCarthy with a decision to make. What do you do if you're Mike McCarthy?
Well, I think you almost have to go for it. I think you have to put yourself as they're running the field goal kicker on the field, but you have to go for it just because being at home, they haven't stopped the Jets yet. The Jets have scored touchdowns on every possession. You know, they're putting themselves in a difficult spot, settling for field goals and not converting touchdowns.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy just called up and he respectfully disagrees with you. He's going with Mason Crosby in the field goal unit. This will be from 20 yards out. And it is good. 5:43 to play in the first half. Fans aren't happy. 21-6 Jets.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the agile all-new Audi Q3. Stray the course. And by Kelley Blue Book. Find out what you should pay for your next new car at kbb.com.
Everywhere you look around this area is filled with National Football League history. That is a house across the street from the stadium. Geno Smith awaiting his chance once again. 21-6 Jets with 5:43 to play in the first half. That's the story of the Green Bay drive. Helped by a pass interference call. So Salim Hakeem deep for the Jets. And will not get a chance to return this one as it sails through the end zone, and the Jets will start at their own 20-yard line. Tonight on Big Brother, the jurors pay a visit to the house and face the final 5 players. The new Big Brother tonight after 60 minutes only. CBS. Well, you'd have to say the Jets are doing pretty good on their possessions.
Well, and we've talked a lot about Rex Ryan and this Jets defense. How about Marty Mornhinweg and the job he's doing calling plays today, getting in position, and as we just showed, 3 series and 3 touchdowns.
This is Chris Johnson. And Johnson across the 25 to the 27. Marty Mornhinweg, a one-time offensive assistant here in Green Bay.
Well, he was talking about that. I asked him about coming back to Lambeau and just what a special place it is for him. As you mentioned, he was part of that 1996 Super Bowl championship team as a quarterback coach of Brett Favre. And he just said, you know, this is such a special place, such a special place when it comes to the history of the National Football League.
Michael Vick is on the field. Geno Smith popping it out to Chris Johnson. And not too much there, but Mike Vick, number 1. And now trots off again.
Well, I think they just want to keep his legs loose in case they want to use him later, because all he did, he jogged to this far side of the field, or far side of the field for him. Got a nice little stretch in. The throw was away from him. You don't want him lead blocking, and then he jogged off, so keeping him loose.
3rd and 2. The Jets 6 out of 7 on 3rd down today. Geno Smith under pressure, throwing over the middle. Nice defensive play made in the middle of the field by Morgan Burnett. The pass intended for Jeremy Curley.
Good pressure this time by the Packers. Once again, Geno Smith stepping into his throw, but taking a shot after he throws it. You mentioned Burnett and the job that he did undercutting that play and knocking it away.
And the Jets with their first punt today. Ryan Quigley will step back, and Micah Hyde will go deep for Green Bay. Not a great kick. Hyde on the run and forward to his own 45-yard line. 4:24 to play in the first half. Aaron Rodgers in the offense back on the field. Hey, coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB and company back in New York will have scores and highlights, as well as a special preview of Thursday Night Football coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Take a look at the possessions for Green Bay so far. Now you talk about a momentum changer, Trent. We saw them kick a field goal. If Green Bay manages to come down and score before halftime now, this is a little bit of a different game.
It does, and it makes it a one-possession game, and that's probably the thinking of McCarthy when he kicks that field goal, is just to get it down to a 2-possession game.
Rodgers throwing this side of the field. Nice catch made at about the 42 of the Jets. Jordy Nelson.
Tremendous job by Jordy. As you see him, he pushes Allen away like he's going to go down the sideline, and Aaron throws that ball before Jordy comes out of his route. Nice job coming back and catching that ball along the sideline.
No.
Rodgers, quick pass, and that's incomplete, intended for Richard Rodgers, the rookie tight end out of California. Beautiful and historic Lambeau Field. The Packers looking for their first win of this season. The Jets looking to go 2-0. 3:51 to play in the first half. Jets with a lead, 21-6.
319. Go Lynn. 319 up.
Quick pass to the far side. That is complete. And bumped out of bounds is Devontae Adams. That'll be marked at the Jet 37.
Well, that's the first time we've seen D. Milliner in on a play. Last week he doesn't play, dealing with a high ankle injury. That time getting the tackle, pushing him out of bounds.
Hold on.
Hold on. 3rd and 5.
Ray. 5-2's Mike. Get him. Ready.
Rodgers coming this way, throwing. Incomplete at the 30-yard line. Again, looking for Nelson. Pretty clear who Aaron Rodgers' go-to guy is, isn't it, Trent?
They just have such a great relationship in terms of just that continuity and that rhythm together. And when he's in trouble and scrambling around, you know, that's who he's looking for first.
So Mason Crosby will line up a 56-yarder. He was kicking them from 60 in pregame. On its way. Officially 55. Right down the middle.
That could have gone 65, the amount of leg he had on that.
Oh. So another 3 points on the board for the Green Bay Packers. You know what? Way back in October of 2003, in Trent Green's only career game here at Lambeau, all he did was throw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, including one to our own Tony Gonzalez back in the studio. The Chiefs forced overtime, rallying from 17 down. Green hit Eddie Kennison for the 51-yard TD pass to win it at 400 passing yards, the second most in my partner's career.
Those are great memories. Yeah, that was fun. It's always good coming back to Lambeau when you have memories like that.
And now that we've done it, then you can stop insisting that we show it.
I kept pushing the talk back. Hey, show the replay. Show the replay.
Way to leave him crying.
It's always good when you have a target like Tony Gonzalez to open things up on the outside. Why do you think we had one-on-one coverage on the outside? They're all worried about Tony down the middle.
Was he any good? Oh, here's the onside kick attempt, but picked off by the Jets, Greg Salas. And the Jets will have good field position with 3:07 to play. Line of scrimmage is going to be at the Jet 47-yard line, maybe the 48. So Greg Salas, a fourth-year wide receiver in there with the good hands, came in handy. And now the Jets looking to get in position to put some more points on the board before halftime. This is Chris Ivory. Ivory getting right side. And very close to a first down as he's bumped out of bounds.
Well, and the important thing to remember, that the risk involved with that onside kick attempt or surprise attempt that the Packers were trying to do is you have 3 minutes to go in the half. You've got the 2-minute warning. You've got a timeout still that the Jets do. So not only are you giving up the field position, but with them having the Jets have the ability to stop the clock twice.
Jets were looking, or Green Bay was looking at the possibility of the ball and 3 timeouts remaining. This is Ivory again, and Ivory has the first down to the Green Bay 41. Clock continues to move. Now, when does Mike McCarthy start to use timeouts in hopes of getting the football back?
Well, I think right now with the way the Jets are moving the ball, you don't want to use them now because they could end up getting a touchdown out of the thing. If it gets to a 3rd and long or a 4th down situation, maybe you call it to where you can preserve as much time as possible.
On first down, Smith. Outside, that's Bohannon out of the backfield, and Bohannon inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in Green Bay. The New York Jets 21, Green Bay 9. We'll be back. This is the NFL on CBS. Trent, I mentioned to you during the timeout, Marty Morningweg having fun calling plays. 7 different pass receivers for the Jets, 6 different ball carriers in the ground game. Smith throwing down the sideline, put it up in the air, and it's intercepted inside the 5-yard line. Tremont Williams with the interception. The pass was intended for tight end Zach Sudfeld.
And that interception is applied because of the pressure that is put to Geno Smith. I want you to watch Daniels over here, Mike Daniels, coming off this left side. He just beats his man up the field. Nice job. He does a nice job of keeping his head up, because if he doesn't hit him, if he hits him too low, that they have that protecting the quarterback's knees. He hits him right at waist level, and that causes that ball to flutter up in the air and gets the interception.
28 turnovers since the start of the 2013 season for Geno Smith. And now Green Bay from its own 3-yard line. And a minute 52 and 3 timeouts remaining. Rodgers out of his own end zone, complete out to the 10-yard line to Devontae Adams. Green Bay with all 3 of its timeouts remaining.
Ready, ready.
Quick pass by Rodgers, and Rodgers finds Andrew Quarles. And the clock stops now with a minute 24 to play. A reminder once again, coming up, the Verizon halftime report. James Brown and that group of usual suspects in the New York studio. The latest scores and highlights, and a preview of Thursday Night Football coming up, the Verizon halftime report.
Well, the Packers now with 2 more timeouts left, they do a nice job of getting out of their own end zone and getting some separation, do a couple short throws, pick up the first down. At some point in time, they're going to have to take a shot up the field, but you have to remember Crosby just kicked a 55-yarder that had enough distance to be 65.
They need to get to the 38 or 39-yard line for Mason Crosby to get a shot.
319.
Rodgers on the move. Sliding down at the 30-yard line. Looks like he has enough for a first down. Clock continues to move. 70 seconds remaining in the first half. Handy. And a quick pass over the middle. That's complete across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Randall Cobb, another first down. 50 seconds to play.
Well, that's a sure tackle. That's a dangerous defense to do. You bring that type of pressure, you leave one-on-one with only one guy in the middle of the field as your backup. Nice accurate throw by Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers got rid of it. Harris out of the backfield. Into Jet territory at the 45, and a timeout is called. And we have a penalty marker back.
Personal foul, late hit to the quarterback, number 58, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That penalty is on the late the veteran Jason Babin, and we have a Jet down at the 47-yard line. And that's Sheldon Richardson. So they'll come out to look at number 91, who's had a big fumble recovery here in the first half.
Well, that play was a trifecta of problems. First, you get the big completion that gets the first down. Then you get the penalty that gives them an extra 15 yards. And then Richardson's down, so you lose Richardson. But by Richardson being down, now all of a sudden the Packers get their timeout back. So now they can get the ball at the 30-yard line, and they still have 2 timeouts to go.
And 32 seconds on the clock. This is the Jets' first visit to Lambeau since December of '06, when the Jets registered a 38-10 win. And this penalty is going to put Green Bay at the Jet 30-yard line. So here's Aaron Rodgers at the Jet 30-yard line. 32 seconds and 2 timeouts. They have gained 67 yards in the last minute and 20. Rodgers with time, far side of the field, incomplete. Nelson covered by D. Milliner.
Well, and that's why you just stated why you can't relax against this Green Bay offense. 67 yards in the last minute 20, and even though they've held them out of the end zone and Green Bay has been you know, dinking away at the score here and getting field goal. You just never know when that offense is going to click in and they're going to get that big play, and that's why they just have to continue applying pressure.
2nd and 10. Rodgers looks left, under pressure, and got rid of it in a hurry. Quentin Coples was bearing down on him. It'll be 3rd and 10.
The Packers are trying to set up a screen here, trying to get the back out to the right. You can see the delayed blitz up top. Rodgers does a smart move by just throwing that ball on the ground.
Right now, Mason Crosby is looking at a field goal attempt of less than 50 yards. Play clock down to 2 to 1. Got the snap off. Under pressure, throwing complete inside the 20, 15, 10. Spins down at the 6-yard line. Davante Adams. It'll be 1st and goal. And the Packers call timeout.
Davante Adams will be coming from the left side of the screen. Aaron Rodgers slides over to get away from the protection. Nice job by Adams. Watch the rookie as he tucks the ball in with both hands, protects the football so he doesn't get the turnover. And you also worry about using up too much time. He does a nice job of going down, protecting the football, and allowing them to get the timeout to where they have 15 seconds now.
This is Green Bay's 3rd red zone trip of the day. The other 2 resulted in field goals. You expect Aaron Rodgers to go for the end zone.
Well, they still have a timeout, so you can use everything in your whole repertoire of plays that you have inside the 5-yard line. You could even try running the ball, although they haven't had much success running the ball. Look for a play action. You can maybe get it in the flat. If they do get tackled inbounds, you still have that one timeout.
Rodgers with all kinds of time and throwing for the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Nelson, covered by Milliner. Those 2 are getting to know each other.
Well, and I think Jordy falls upfield a little bit on this, and that allows Milliner to undercut it and prevent the catch from happening. He doesn't actually hit it away, but he obstructs Nelson's view from seeing the ball all the way in. If he flattens that off and keeps that different angle, D's not going to have a chance after that ball.
2nd and goal, 11 seconds left. Rodgers, quick pass, touchdown. Randall Cobb.
Nice job by Aaron Rodgers staying in with the pressure that's being applied.
The Packers come all the way back downfield after the Geno Smith interception. A 97-yard drive over 1:44. The extra point is good. 8 seconds to play in the first half. The Jets lead is down to 21-16.
Here's where their pressure is going to be applied. He's coming off the edge. The offensive line is in a turn protection, so they're all going to Aaron Rodgers' right, leaving that end defender unblocked. Nice job by Rodgers recognizing that his line was turning down and blocking down, so he had to get the ball out of his hands quickly. Good accurate throw, puts it right on the numbers where the defender can't get through and knock the ball away.
So what was once a 21-3 New York Jet lead is now 21-16. And Aaron Rodgers has these Packers right back in this game.
And we've touched on it a few times this half, just momentum. You know, the Jets started off hot. They had 3 drives in a row, scoring touchdowns. That first drive started because of a Green Bay turnover, the fumble on the quarterback center exchange. Then Aaron Rodgers got hot. And as you said, after 21-3, 13 straight points by the Packers make this a ball game going into halftime.
A couple of seconds ago, you saw Aaron Rodgers with a quick thank you to Tremont Williams for the interception. Team will not get a chance to run this one back, and so the Jets will have 8 seconds on the clock before halftime.
Well, the Jets will just come out and take a knee. You have to remember they won the toss, deferred, chose to kick off, so they will have the ball first coming out in the second half.
Well, after a horrible, disastrous start, a fumble on the first snap of the game, Green Bay has scored on its last 4 drives, 3 field goals and a touchdown. Smith takes the snap, takes the knee, and will go to the locker room. We've come to the end of the first half here in Green Bay. 21-16 Packers. The Verizon halftime report coming your way from New York after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Back at Lambeau Field, the Jets could not have asked for a better start. They took advantage of an early Green Bay turnover, jumped to a 21-3 lead, but you can't keep Aaron Rodgers down for long. This is the Packers home opener, and he began to connect with his favorite receiver, Jordy Nelson. It's a 21-16 Jet lead as we get set to begin the third quarter. And now let's take a look at the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam in that early Jets charge. 29 yards, Geno Smith to Eric Decker. The Jets start this second half with the football and on top as we welcome you back to Lambeau. Greg Gumbel along with Trent Green. Boy, we saw momentum on both sides of the field, so what do you expect coming out of the locker rooms for each of these guys?
Well, I think the Jets need to get the run game going. Chris Johnson only had 7 yards in the first half. Chris Ivory only 33 yards rushing, so they have to get the two of them going. And on the Green Bay side of things, you have to protect Aaron Rodgers. We saw at the end of the first half, if you give him some time, he's going to get some weapons.
All right, let's go downstairs and check in with Evan Washburn. Evan.
Well, Greg and Trent, you're exactly right. I spoke with Mike McCarthy coming back on the field. He said their protection improved when they just settled down, and then defensively, he wants to see the tackling continue to improve. That was an issue in Seattle. Also dealing with some of the Jets' gimmick plays. I spoke with Rex Ryan as well, and he said they just were out-executed in that 97-yard drive to close out the half, but he was upbeat, very pleased with Geno Smith, minus that interception.
All right, Evan, thank you. When we talked about that interview, that interception by Geno Smith, he was hit as he released the ball. Really wasn't his fault.
Yeah, you know, he got a lot of pressure, and you look at Daniels hit him really hard and low, and what happens as a quarterback, if you can't step into the ball's going to flutter, and that's exactly what happened. It hung up in the air and cost the interception.
Green Bay Packers did an outstanding job of fighting back from a big deficit in the first quarter and coming back in the second quarter to pull to within 5. Jets get their hands on the football first to start the second half. This is Salim Hakeem, muffed the ball at the goal line, picked it up, and he's out of bounds at the 5. Boy, there's a mistake to start off the second half.
It's not the way you want to start the second half. We have to remember back to the first half, they put together a long drive after starting down inside as well. So this is something they've done once, but not the momentum you want to start off with for the second half.
Geno Smith is going to begin at his own 5-yard line. And you can bet the Packer fans are going to get right back into the thick of things. Chris Johnson in the backfield. Chris Johnson with the handoff for 2 out to the 7. First half possessions for the Jets, 3 touchdowns, and then a punt and an interception.
Well, and you could hear the crowd getting into it on that first down snap. You see the start of the game, 3 touchdowns in a row, 21 points off those drives. This place got quiet, but as the momentum changed, Greg, you touched about it, the momentum changed to Green Bay's favor, getting these fans back into the ball game.
2nd and 8. Smith on the move, throwing, sideline pass, diving attempt made on the near sideline, and the ruling is incomplete. Decker, the intended receiver.
Well, we're up here a ways, but it appears he comes down with this ball.
Ooh, and that's going to be really close.
And on that replay, it looks like he has 1 foot down and drags the second. So I know we're up in the sky here a little bit, but it looked like he had a catch. And then after seeing this replay, I think it only confirms it.
with the left foot down, dragging the right foot.
Well, they ruled it. They changed their ruling on the field to a catch.
And Mike McCarthy had himself a nice front row seat. Now the fans here watching the replay on the board, they don't think it was a legitimate catch. Of course they don't.
Well, that's a good thing McCarthy has some guys up in the booth seeing the TV angles and TV replays, because up on the big board, these fans don't quite see that back foot dragging.
First down at the 21-yard line for the Jets. Great catch by Eric Decker. 3 seconds, 2 and 1, and he calls timeout. Time ran out on him on the play clock. So 13:52 to play in the third quarter. Now, that does feel like a mistake when you've had time to get the play in, right, Trent?
Well, I think that the fact that the officials were discussing whether it was a catch or not a catch, you have to be ready to call that play. You have to be ready to go. And so once that ball's spotted, you already have that decision made. And whether or not there was some miscommunication with Geno trying to change the play at the line of scrimmage or not, the fact remains that, yeah, wasting a timeout this early in the second half could ultimately come back to haunt you at the end of the game.
Geno with a few words from his offensive coordinator, Marty Morningweg. I mentioned in the first half, it looked like Marty was going all over the playbook because he was calling a variety of plays.
Well, and you mentioned the number of different receivers that were involved, the number of different players that had carried the football.
Now there's a flag on the near side of the field, which is a challenge flag.
Green Bay is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass, which is allowed by rule because there had not been a legal snap prior to the New York timeout.
Well, let's see if there's a double whammy against the Jets, because delaying the start of that play might have given a little opening to the Packers. Back at Lambeau Field as we take another look.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a catch. Green Bay is charged with its first timeout.
And let's check with Mike Carey, our officiating expert back in New York. There wasn't any doubt in your mind, was there, Mike?
No, Greg, I thought we had clear control, 2 toe taps down inbounds. The only issue is that the right foot looks like it drags, but you can't tell specifically that it does, because the chalk that comes up from the field could have been chalk from the left foot. I believe that the ruling on the field is going to stand as a completed catch.
What happened in that play if the original ruling had stood, that it was ruled incomplete? Did you see enough to overturn it?
To rule either way. It'll stand no matter how it's called.
All right, Mike, thank you much. Chris Johnson with the carry, and he's stacked up at about the 21-yard line. So now the Packers lose a timeout on that challenge, and Trent, you said you thought it was a wasted.
Well, and you can argue that both teams have already wasted one timeout. You know, the fact that the Jets weren't ready to snap the ball after that, the initial discussion about the catch, and then McCarthy was right there to see it. It was on his sidelines, and he had guys up in the booth with TV viewing. So yeah, I think both teams have wasted one.
2nd and 10. Geno Smith running out of time and threw it. It looked like his throwing arm was in motion, but let's see what the ruling is on the field. Packers think they have the football.
There was no official that ruled it incomplete. Nobody came running in waving it off as an incomplete pass.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
Well, this will be an interesting look. Dayton Jones recovered what is being ruled a fumble. Let's take a look.
A lot of it depends on if his arm's going forward, if the ball goes forward. You can see his arms in a throwing motion. It appears that it goes forward. Let's see where he is. He's right on. It depends on if you say where the ball leaves his hands as he's being hit. It's definitely behind where he lands.
Yes.
Well, let's go back to Mike Carey in New York. Mike, you saw that play?
Yes, I saw that play.
And what'd you think?
I think it's a backwards pass, not a fumble. But in both situations, the defense is going to come up with the ball.
Yeah, I think you can definitely see Geno Smith's wrist moving forward with the football, but didn't think about the backwards aspect of it.
Yes. So
So
in
Walt
order for
Anderson.
a pass to be forward, it has to be clearly forward. This one was thrown from a stripe to the other stripe, which means a parallel textbook backwards pass recovered by the defense.
So a parallel throw is a backward throw.
It is a backwards throw. Yeah, it is not a forward pass.
Here's another look, Mike. Gino hit by Julius Peppers just as he let the ball go.
Yeah. All right, so from the point of release of the quarterback, wherever it touches determines if it's forward or backwards. And it left his hand at the stripe and went parallel and bounced forward, but that parallel makes it not forward.
Okay, so it's looking like he
But here's what
released.
they're gonna do. He's gonna say any forward motion will make it a forward pass, and they'll go incomplete. That's what they're gonna do.
Okay, it looked like
So just the mere fact of his arm coming forward, they're saying they'll take out the fact that it's a parallel pass like you touched on just a second
Yes,
ago. But because his
any
arm's
forward
going forward.
motion, any forward motion is going to be a forward pass. So that's the way they're going to handle it, and that's the way I should talk about it.
All right, Mike, thank you. Here's Walt Anderson.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback's hand was coming forward when he was contacted by the defender. The pass is incomplete. It'll be third down on the 21-yard line, 13:15 on the clock.
You know, Mike, as much as we don't like a know-it-all, that was really good of you.
What was it though, Mike, that got you to change your mind on that from being a parallel pass that was going to be a fumble to all of a sudden with the arm coming forward? What was it that got you on that?
Because any time the ball is still firmly in the quarterback's hand and his motion starts forward and he has a disruption by the defense, that action of going forward makes it a forward pass regardless of what direction it goes.
All right, Mike, thank you. Well, Mike McCarthy, more than just a little bit upset on the Green Bay sideline, but it is a Jet possession now at their own 21-yard line and looking at a 3rd and 10. Mike Carey on top of it from New York. Deep drop for Smith. Throwing deep for Decker. Incomplete at the 30-yard line of the Packers. He had him.
Decker had a step on. A nice job by Gino buying some times with his legs. Decker matched up on Ha-Ha Clinton Dix down the field. There's no safety in the middle, or that is the safety. Decker goes up. You can see here on his release, he just gives him an out and up. He has him beaten. Gino's going to be kicking himself for that, missing that throw.
Randall Cobb is deep for the kick. High and short, and fair catch called for, but he'll let it bounce. And it'll come to rest at the Green Bay 36-yard line. And this reminder, next Sunday, the NFL on CBS brings you doubleheader excitement. First, the Houston Texans take on the Giants. The Raiders visit New England. Brent and I will be in the great Northeast for that. And then the Super Bowl rematch when the Broncos battle the Seahawks. And it all begins at noon Eastern time. JB and company on the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. Eddie Lacy in the backfield with Aaron Rodgers.
Red Jill. 319. 319.
Lacy cuts it back out to about the 39. After the fumble and the punt, the Packers came on strong with 3 field goals and a touchdown to close to within 5.
And here they are, their first possession of the second half, getting great field position. We have to remember the mistake that the Jets made on the initial kickoff return, stepping out of bounds at the 5-yard line, and then the defense holding firm, giving the Packers this field position to start off.
Blue 94. Blue 94. Blue 94. Blue 94. Oh, scoot. Lock it. Yeah. Oh, scoot. Blue 58. Blue 58.
Rodgers Flips it out to John Kuhn, and Kuhn out to about the 43-yard line. You know, you hear a lot of conversation at that interior line, and Aaron Rodgers says that his rookie center, Corey Linsley, gets a lot of help from Josh Sitton on the left side and T.J. Lang on the right.
Well, it's important to have some veterans somewhere there on the offensive line, because as a center, that generally, the communication between the quarterback and the center is vital because of the protection calls. They have to be, the declaration that the quarterback makes has to be on the same page with what the line is doing, so he knows which guy is his hot responsibility, who he's aware of in a protection.
Hey, damn, call him, Todd.
3rd and 2.
319. 319.
Lacey not going to get there. Brought down at the 43-yard line. Muhammad Wilkerson, Damon Harrison leading the charge.
Just nowhere for Lacey to go. A lot of times, a back of his size and stature, he's able to push the pile. There's nowhere for him to push the pile there. Wilkerson does a nice job of holding his block, holding off his block, coming off and making the tackle.
Green Bay with 43 yards rushing today. Aaron Rodgers is the leading rusher with 30 of them. Jalen Saunders says let it go, and it bounces out of bounds. And the Jets are going to wind up with better field position than they had when they kicked it away. 21-16 Jets, 10:49 to play in the third. We're back after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. And by Papa John's, official pizza sponsor of the NFL.
If you can't get into the front row here inside the stadium, you can do a little Lambeau leap outside. Nice day here in Green Bay, temperature 65. Jets from their own 24-yard line. Chris Ivory. Oof. Not much there at all. Forward progress will be marked at the 25-yard line. Micah Hyde walked off the field a few moments ago with a knee injury. His return is questionable. And the Jets kind of like foundering now, Trent, looking for a little lost momentum.
Yeah, this has definitely been a game of momentum, and the Jets are desperately trying to find it in their favor.
Ivory can't find any running room. Mike Daniels, who has played a superb game at defensive end for Green Bay, with the stop.
Well, I had a chance to talk to Dom Capers about Mike Daniels and just the energy he's brought, his development. You know, 4th-round pick out of Iowa 3 years ago. We really came on strong last year, especially towards the end of last year, and he's bringing an energy and an enthusiasm to that defensive group as this turnaround's happened today.
3rd and 7. Geno Smith throwing, a little bit behind his intended receiver Decker, and he couldn't hold on.
Decker down here at the bottom of the screen. You'd like to see Geno make a little bit more accurate throw, put it on his body so he can protect himself. We touched on that earlier in their game about giving on Aaron Rodgers' touchdown pass to Cobb, putting it on the body of the receiver so the defender can't get through and knock the ball out. That time they're behind. Decker reaches back and gives him an opportunity to knock it loose.
Randall Cobb back at his own 24-yard line for the punt from Ryan Quigley. And we get whistles and flags on the far side of the field.
Well, I know back here will be a delay.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So it'll be a 4th and 12 now, and the Jets are backed off 5 yards. Under pressure, Quigley gets off a nice floater. The 25-yard line, spinning away from one tackler, and then another, Randall Cobb, across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. 9:25 to play in the third quarter in Lambeau. We'll continue with the NFL on CBS. The two New York Jet quarterbacks, Geno Smith, number 7, Michael Vick, number 1. But it's the Jet defense that has to begin to figure out Aaron Rodgers now. You and I were talking, Trent. They really haven't been able to run on this Jet defense.
Yeah, as much as they tried, especially that last series, 2 out of the 3 plays were running plays, trying to move the ball on the ground hasn't been working.
Rodgers, far side of the field. Diving catch made at the first down marker by Jordy Nelson. Boy, he is something.
Well, and that's the thing. They just have a great combination. He's made 2 or 3 catches like that today where the ball's behind him. He extends and catches it with his hands, securing the catch. Even though that's a quick throw where Aaron Rodgers is getting the ball out of his hands quickly, you can see the pressure that's being caused by the Jets. That's why you can't push the ball up the field. You just got to keep to the short throws and get the ball out of your hands quickly.
And the Jets can't get to Aaron Rodgers fast enough to avoid those quick throws.
Beta, ready, set.
On first down, this is Lacy. And Lacy across the 45, bulls his way to the 48-yard line. Geno Smith, a touchdown and an interception. And Aaron Rodgers, the leading rusher for the Green Bay Packers. Decker with 4 for 63, and Jordy Nelson with 5 for 77.
Well, and that last carry by Lacy was his biggest run of the day.
And that was a 4-yarder, 2nd and 6. Straight ahead, Lacy. And Lacy very close to another Packer first down. It is. So Eddie Lacy up to 17 yards rushing now. This is John Kuhn, the fullback.
Well, great job by our crew all day long. You guys at home can hear Aaron Rodgers at the line of scrimmage with his cadence, with the things that he's changing at the line of scrimmage, changing protections, changing to runs, getting out of runs, going to passes, and some of that stuff is just dummy calls. So great job by our crew letting you guys know at home what's going on.
30 zoning. Hey, statue. Statue, Mike. Ready, set. Loose. 319. 319. Beta, 5-2's Mike. Ready, set.
Rodgers taking a shot down the far sideline, and he's got his man. Jordy Nelson once again. First down, Green Bay.
Jordy Nelson 1-on-1 down the sidelines. He thinks he has safety help over the top. The Jets are in cover 2. Pryor's out there. Calvin Pryor is a safety that's supposed to be over there giving him a little help. And Aaron Rodgers does a nice job of throwing that firm ball up the sideline to attack cover 2.
First and goal. Packers looking for their first lead of the day. Rodgers floats left, throwing, incomplete. Intended for Randall Cobb. He was in the end zone, covered by DeJuan Landry.
And for the viewers at home, when you hear Aaron Rodgers yell out, 52 is Mike, 52 is Mike, that's something for the offensive line to understand who Mike or who Aaron Rodgers is declaring as the Mike linebacker, so they know in their protection schemes who they're turning to, who they're blocking with.
17. 5-2.
Low snap, Rodgers handles it, dances out of the pocket, looking, throwing, at the goal line, and he's ruled out of bounds just short of the goal line. Davante Adams, the rookie from Fresno State.
All the more impressive here is the fact that Davante Adams is able to get open. The Jets only rushed 3 that time, dropping 8 into coverage.
Rodgers says touchdown. Officials say no. They're from the half-yard line. Rodgers rolls, throws, touchdown. Randall Cobb. Second touchdown of the afternoon for Randall Cobb. His third of the season. And for the first time today, the Packers are in the lead. And with a 1-point lead, Mike McCarthy says, let's go for 2.
And this was a smart decision. You know, right there you see Cobb one-on-one on the outside. Aaron does a rollout to get away from the pressure. Gives him a nice throw to the outside where the defender can't get to it. And as you said, Greg, going for 2 to give him a field goal lead.
Quick pass, goal line. The 2-point conversion is there. Randall Cobb once again. And this game has officially gone to Chippy as penalty markers fly.
Well, they're going to get Wilkerson for throwing punches.
And there's a helmet that's being removed. More penalty flags. Sheldon Richardson walking off the field without his helmet.
More likely than not, there may end up being a couple guys thrown out here for throwing punches.
Walt Anderson has a little deciphering to do on the field as the officials get together.
Well, that was always the confusing part to me when guys are throwing punches and they're wearing their helmets, so you're basically just hitting them in the helmet.
Well, it looked like someone removed Sheldon Richardson's helmet for him.
Well, I think that was tight end Andrew Corliss for the Packers. He's the one that had a hand in the face mask and was carrying it around, and he may ultimately be taken off the field as well. Although he didn't throw a punch, so
he's got that going for him.
So he's got that going for him. He's got a Jet helmet, but
here's Walt Anderson.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 91 of the defense. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 96 of the defense. That penalty will be enforced. Number 96 is disqualified.
Wow, so Muhammad Wilkerson has been tossed out of the game.
Well, and Wilkerson was the one that was, as I said, inexplicably, you can see him right here. He throws a punch, and he comes back and he'll throw another one right there.
Let's take a break.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Miller Lite. Back in its original look, it's Miller time. And by Wendy's.
.545 to play in now a contentious third quarter, and let's go back and take a look. And it starts with, looks like Sheldon Richardson, number 91, right there.
And now we know why Corliss took his helmet off. He had his helmet grabbed first.
Now number 96, Muhammad Wilkerson, throwing lefts and rights at Josh Sitton, and that cost him the rest of the game.
He's smiling now, but that fine check that comes in the middle of the week, that isn't going to be good. That isn't anything to smile about.
Rex Ryan explaining to Richardson just what he did wrong. Meanwhile, on the kickoff, Salim Hakim deep in his own territory, looking for running room up the sideline. And out of bounds, looks like short of the 25-yard line.
And let's not forget, Wilkerson was the team MVP a year ago. He's a force in that defensive front four for the Jets. So that's a huge loss, not only in his pocketbook, but for this defense.
You are talking about arguably the best player on the New York Jet defense.
And he was smiling about it. So that just tells you the perspective, what's going to happen for some of the discussions he has with Rex this week.
Chris Johnson in the backfield. Jets down for the first time today. Geno Smith with time over the middle. Wide open is Cumberland, the tight end, for a first down. Clock continues to run. 5:20 to play here in the third. Last time the Jets lost a game where they had an 18-point lead, the 2002 season against the Cleveland Browns. Smith, plenty of time. Almost lost his footing and throws it nowhere. No one on that side of the field. Second and 10.
They've had a lot of success going to Eric Decker today, so don't shy away from him on this, Gino. You've been leaning on him all day long.
Micah Hyde still missing from that secondary. This is Chris Johnson. Johnson across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. A.J. Hawk in on the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 6.
And really, if you're Mike McCarthy and Dom Capers, you have to be happy with the Green Bay defense after giving up over 200 yards rushing a week ago to Seattle. Today, keeping Chris Ivory at 36 yards and Chris Johnson at 13 so far to this point.
Smith stepping up. Can he escape? Tosses it over the middle. Bilal Powell, and Powell inside the 40-yard line of the Green Bay Packers for a Jets first down. Great awareness by Smith.
That's not a good sign, seeing Eric Decker grabbing his hamstring, limping off the field, but nice job by Geno, stepping up in the pocket, spinning away, and finding his receivers. He had that happen earlier in the game when he was under pressure. He knew where his check down was. He got his head over there and got the ball to him. Same thing happens there. Gets the check down, is able to get the big first down.
You can see Eric Decker trying to stretch out that right leg. Here's Chris Johnson around the left side to about the 35. That's Decker a couple of plays ago.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. It's not a cramp. When something like that happens, it generally, you know, it's not a cramping type thing, because it would lock up on you more than what he's reacting to. So you could see him motion to the trainer as he wanted one of those massage or rolling sticks to try and loosen it up.
2nd and 7. Smith on the move, trying to turn the corner, and tiptoes the sideline before he's out of bounds. He's marked out, looks like at about the 34. Looks to be about 5 yards short of a first down. And Eric Decker back onto the field and still reaching back for that hamstring.
He's still grabbing onto it, so that's something I have to keep an eye on. And if anything, he could be a decoy for the other guys.
3rd and 6. Deep drop for Geno Smith throwing, and it is batted down. Devon House. Pass intended for Jeremy Curley. And Nick Folk is coming onto the field to attempt what will be a pretty lengthy field goal.
Well, Geno has some room to lay this out in front of Curley. You can see he just leaves a little bit behind and allows House a chance, almost gets the interception. If he leads him, there's nobody over there because on the backside, Decker would run a deep post, running out that backside coverage.
This from 52 yards. Nick Folk has made 3 consecutive from 50 or more. On its way. Looks good. And we're tied. From 52 yards out, Nick Folk right through the uprights. We're tied at 24. As Eric Decker gets worked on the sidelines, the Jets 8 plays, 42 yards. The 52-yard field goal by Nick Folk pulls the Jets even with Green Bay at 24. Dewan Harris is deep. And bouncing into and out of the end zone, Green Bay will start from its own 20. Tonight on 60 Minutes, why is Alabama's college football team a perennial powerhouse? Hear from its coach, Nick Saban, tonight only on 60 Minutes. My first guess, Trent, is that they have really good football players.
That's a good start. That's a good start.
Muhammad Wilkerson gone from the game. Number 78, Leger Douzable, in at defensive end for the Jets. And the work on Decker continues. The Packers have scored on 5 of their last 6 drives. 3 field goals, 2 touchdowns. Rodgers with time, down the sideline, has his man. Jordy Nelson. Nelson on his way. Yards and the touchdown and the lead.
Watch the double move that Jordy Nelson does on D. Milliner. Does a little out and up. Aaron Rodgers hits it right in that hole again with the safety over the top. Jordy with the cutback, and he starts celebrating about the 20. Doesn't put his hand up to the 10, but he knew he was in at about the 20, 25.
Jordy Nelson, a career-high 190 yards rushing on the day. The extra point is good. There was a tie that didn't last long at all. Seconds to be exact.
Well, the Packers are in big personnel, so they've got 2 tight ends, so that means there's only the safety in the middle of the field. There's no other wide receiver on the field for the safety to help out with. Calvin Pryor tries getting over the top. He knows that's the only deep threat. He just takes a poor angle and allows Jordy to cut back for the touchdown. With no other vertical threat on that side of the field, he needs to be helping more over the top to that side, because with big personnel group, you know you've got somebody running with the tight end, so you're not worried about him stretching the field. You need to worry about 87.
That was the rookie, Calvin Pryor, the rookie safety. The Rodgers to Nelson hookup is alive and kicking here in Lambeau today. Hakeem will not run it out of the end zone. It'll be the Jets from their own 20-yard line with 2:08 to play in the third quarter. Aaron Rodgers now 22 of 37 for 322 and 3 touchdowns.
Well, and that's generally what they try and do. If they're going to do those underneath throws, they've had a lot of success with the short throws, the 10-yard throws, 5-yard throws, occasionally a 12-yard throw here and there. And that's why Milliner jumps on it. He's used to seeing those short throws all day, and with a big personnel group, the hard play fake, that gives Aaron Rodgers the time gives Jordy Nelson the time to do that double move, and with an accurate throw upfield, that's 6 points.
We have a penalty marker on the field on the play, and the officials gathered at the 5-yard line to talk about it.
There are 2 fouls. Offsides, number 55 of the kicking team. That penalty is declined. After the play, taunting, number 24 of the kicking team. That 15-yard penalty would be enforced from the 20-yard line by rule because of the touchback. First down, New York.
So that penalty is on Green Bay's Jarrett Bush. And Aaron Rodgers in a celebratory mood. Who can blame him?
There's his little skip. He's been known to do that little skip every now and then when he gets a touchdown.
So the Jets now start from their own 35 thanks to the penalty. And this is Chris Ivory. And Ivory, no, there's a penalty marker in the backfield.
Illegal hands to the face, number 76, defense. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
That call is on Mike Daniels.
Well, I think everybody was pretty sure that was going to be offensive holding. It kind of caught everybody off guard.
And there's the taunting call after the kickoff. And Geno Smith goes down, and we have another penalty marker. And this looks like a holding call.
Holding, number 67, offense. That penalty is declined. It's second down.
That's second-year guard Brian Winters. And Mike
Keep an
Daniels
eye
got
on
the
him.
sack.
He's the left guard right here. You're going to see Daniels just beat him, throw him to the inside, and Winter just grabs him. Winters just grabs around and tackles him.
You know, that's pretty impressive when you get the sack after you've been held. Minute and a half to play in the third. Second and long yardage. Smith with time, deep down the sideline and out of bounds. Greg Salas, the nearest receiver. It is 3rd and 17.
Well, we have to remember that Eric Decker is not in the game. That he's standing over on the sideline. You can see his hands on his hips, but his helmet is on. So I don't know if that's a coach's decision not putting him in, but they had been working on his hamstring last series, and taking a shot up the field, that generally has gone in the direction of Decker all day long.
Smith, quick pass, almost intercepted, incomplete. Let's go down to Evan Washburn. Evan.
Eric Decker with the athletic trainers. It was a deep massage on that right leg. He then was put behind and brought back out, and he was trying to do some short sprints. He looked like he was in obvious discomfort, but as you saw, he had his helmet. He was available for that series, but they seem to clearly be working on that right leg.
All right, Evan, thank you. And on fourth down, high punt, fair catch called for, and made at the 20-yard line by Randall Cobb. So that's where the Packers will resume their attack, leading 31-24. Headlines of this day around the National Football League, there have been plenty. How about Washington quarterback Robert Griffin III? A dislocated ankle. Kirk Cousins led Washington to victory. The Cleveland Browns, Billy Cundiff, a game-winning field goal. They knock off the New Orleans Saints, and those of you who are worried about whether the New England Patriots would ever win again, relax. 30-7. The Patriots claim their first win of the season.
Kirk Cousins steps in and does a nice job. You mentioned RG3's injury. Goes in, has a solid day leading into a big win.
He just seems star-crossed, doesn't he?
Just needs that opportunity, and it looks like with that type of injury, he's going to have an extended opportunity.
2nd and 10 as Rodgers throws incomplete. So what is the difference, Trent, between what we saw from the New York Jets in the first half and what we're seeing now?
Well, I think you go back to this last series. You know, that was a miserable series for them. They have the penalty that gets them back. They have the holding, or they have the sack that they give up. Then on 2nd down, instead of trying to get a chunk of yardage back, they try pushing it 30 yards up the field, and it leaves them in 3rd and long. So they got to get back into managing those down and distances better.
Where you going, Cole?
2nd and 10. Lacy. And Calvin Pryor, the hard-hitting safety, was in. Rex created a little stir this week, didn't he? Talking about Calvin Pryor and Ha-Ha Clinton Dix.
Yeah, he had one of his all-time quotes there. He wanted the guy that'll knock your face in. So
Intercepted in the middle of the field, picked off by David Harris. And there's a penalty marker on the far side of the field. Aaron Rodgers very interested in how this call is going to go, and he says it's against the Jets.
Men on the defensive team. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. It'll be 3rd down.
you know what? This is where they're going to catch them, is these guys right here at the top of the screen. They don't get off the field. Aaron Rodgers gets to a quick snap. And that's where that 12th man, this is just an ugly interception. He tries throwing it in between 3 guys, doesn't see the underneath coverage of the linebacker dropping out. But by doing the quick snap, that's what catches the Jets in their personnel change and ultimately saves them from that interception.
– 32 seconds to play in the 3rd, 3rd and 4. Rodgers on the slant and threads the needle to Davante Adams. That's enough for a 1st down out to the Green Bay 31.
And Davante Adams had a couple of nice catches today where he's had to control his body, control the ball, and keep it away from the defender. He's done a nice job of protecting things.
Ready?
And time runs down on Aaron Rodgers here in the 3rd quarter before he can get the snap off. That is the end of 3 with the score. 31-24 Pack. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local station. Back in Lambeau for the start of the 4th quarter, along with our producer Bob Monsbach, our director Suzanne Smith, Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Evan Washburn. 31-24 Green Bay. 15 minutes to play. Rodgers with all kinds of time. Look at the time. On the move now and got tripped up. Back at the 18-yard line by Demario Davis. Aaron may kick himself for that one.
Yeah, I thought he was going to take a shot up at Jordy Nelson up the field. It would have been into double coverage, but I thought maybe that Jordy had a step. Just held on to the ball a little too long, couldn't escape, and there was nowhere for him to dump it off short.
So it's 2nd and 22. 20 out. Lacy, hole up the middle. Closed in a hurry as he crossed the 20 to about the 22.
And really going back to that 1st down, that's a play that Aaron Rodgers should throw the ball away. You have that much time and nothing's open downfield. You've already got good field position. Throw it away, give yourself 2nd and 10 instead of what it ended up 2nd and 22. Yeah. So that's making it hard on yourself.
3rd and 18 now. Different levels, different levels.
258. 259.
Rogers again with a lot of time, and again he goes down, this time at the 12-yard line. Calvin Pace in on the Packer quarterback.
This is Aaron just trying to get the ball up the field. You'll see Pace down here on the bottom of your screen. They're only rushing 4. He's just trying to get the 2 outside receivers were both doing double moves, and he was trying to get a double move, but on 3rd and 18, the defense was smart enough to sit back and go back to the sticks and not give up that big play.
So Jalen Saunders back for the Jets, who should get some decent field position out of this. And a fair catch is called for, and he dropped it and fell on it at the 35. 12:45 to play here in the 4th quarter. Geno Smith looking for a game-tying touchdown. Despite the lopsided nature of this game, since the Jets led it at one point in the first half, 21-3, the Jets are very much in this. 1 touchdown down and good field position, starting now at their own 36-yard line. Geno Smith has that one batted down by Clay Matthews. Let's check in downstairs with Evan.
And Greg, they're starting this drive without Eric Decker. His return, the official word is doubtful with a hamstring. He's on the sideline right now without his helmet, but the official word is a doubtful return for Eric Decker.
Evan, thank you. That's 5 straight incompletions for Geno Smith. 2nd and 10. Smith on the move and across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. What was one of the topics of conversation with Geno Smith about sliding after the hits that he took last week against Oakland?
Well, it's the competitiveness that takes over, and that's what he is. And he understands now. He had conversations with Rex this week. You know, it's a long season, and you don't want to take any undue hits. You're gonna take your share anyway. So this time of game, it's, you know, Rex said he didn't have a problem with it, going for a first down, going for a touchdown, those kinds of things, but just to be careful.
3rd and 3. Smith, crossing pattern, incomplete. Salas, the intended receiver, covered by Tremont Williams. That's about the 3rd or 4th straight one of those that hasn't clicked for the Jets.
Well, but I like what they did this series. Last series, they continued trying to push the ball up the field. This time, that first down, they tried doing a screen play. It got knocked down. 2nd down, they tried a short pass, and Geno took off and run. That time, they tried a crossing route. Go back to what worked in the first half. Some of those short underneath throws, get the ball out of your hands quickly. They just didn't have success with it on this drive.
Randall Cobb back inside his own 15-yard line for the punt from Quigley. And he will let this one float. It bounces inside the 5. Did the Jets save it? They did. And it is down inside the 5-yard line. Salim Hakeem with the dive to keep it out of the end zone. So Aaron Rodgers will start with his back to his own end zone, but he has a 1-touchdown lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Verizon XLTE, on America's largest and most reliable network. And by Pizza Hut's Bacon and Cheese Stuffed Crust. Bacon, enough said.
Welcome back to Lambeau. 31-24 Green Bay over the New York Jets. A reminder, Thursday, your football week starts here. And we'll go to the NFC South. Check in on Tampa Bay taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Big-time matchups go primetime. Thursday night football on NFL Network and CBS. Still plenty of time, but you know Rex Ryan looking to that defense, which is now minus Muhammad Wilkerson.
Well, and now with the ball down inside the 5, this is where you can create field position for your offense. On the other side of things, Green Bay, this is an opportunity to put together a 6-7 minute drive, use up some clock, and get a field goal to make it a 2-possession game.
Hey, 7 socks. Beta, ready, set.
This is Lacey trying the left side, has a little running room and out across the 10 and close to a first down at the 13-yard line. How about the day Jordy Nelson's had, Trent?
It's been impressive, the connections that he's had with Aaron Rodgers. He's going this one jumping over the top of a defender. There's been several throws where it's thrown behind him and he's reaching and catching the ball with his hands. He's shown speed, getting the ball up the field, getting big plays. Here with the cutback against the safety. He's had a tremendous day.
Okay. Green 19.
On first down.
Green 19.
And Lacey once again. This drive started from the Packers' 3-yard line. Last time they started at their own 3, they drove 97 yards for a touchdown in the second quarter. And we noticed there's no great hurry to get to the line now on the part of the Green Bay Packers.
That's been the up-tempo, trying to keep the pressure at bay by going the up-tempo and keeping the defense on their heels, trying to figure out when the ball is going to be snapped. And as you said, Greg, now just slowing down, trying to use up this clock. There's still a lot of time to go, but you might as well use it up when you can.
2nd and 7.
Green 19. Green 19.
Quick pass, this side, Nelson. Brought down at the 20. That was DeJuan Landry. I think the fans want a face mask, but I thought he looked just below the face mask.
It looked like he got him up on the neck and got his hands inside the shoulder pad, and that's why it was such a violent takedown, because he had control of your shoulder pads, which are obviously attached to you, and he gets his entire body to twist around.
3rd and 2. And we get a whistle and a Jet timeout. So the Jets used their second timeout in this half.
Well, they only had 10 on the field.
And those are the kinds of things that can prove costly towards the end of a game when you can use an extra timeout.
You're right, and especially in this kind of game where you're trying to mount a comeback, come from behind, and you're right, you need those down the stretch.
Week 2 continues with Sunday Night Football tonight at 8:30 Eastern Time on NBC. And then tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. So 3rd and 2, and Rex Ryan and the Jets down to 1 timeout left with just over 9.5 to play here in the 4th quarter. Rodgers throwing this side, incomplete, intended for Nelson.
This is a catch that Jordy Nelson has caught 3 of those already today, and that's a ball, you place it low and away from the corner. Jordy's 2 yards past the first down sticks. It's a set deal wherever the first down marker is, whether it's 8 yards, 6 yards, in this case 3 yards, go 2 yards past the sticks, throw it low and away. He just didn't bring it in.
So the Jet defense stands tall, and now let's see what kind of field position they get. This is Saunders from his own 23. Nice move. And then cut down at about the 32-yard line. John Kuhn with the tackle. Can you tell from the crowd reaction? Mentioned this earlier, it's been a long time since the Jets lost a game in which they led by 18 or more. 31-24 Green Bay. This is Chris Ivory. Across the 35 to about the 37. Jets are playing this game now without the services of wide receiver Eric Decker, who pulled up on this play, grabbed that hamstring, came back for 1 play, and couldn't go anymore. 2nd and 5. Smith throwing. Curley. And Curley out of bounds at the 41. That's about 2 yards short of a first down.
Nice composure by Geno Smith. Pressure coming at him. Being able to lay this ball out to the sideline. He's shown this a couple times today, and this is just the maturation that he's shown as a quarterback. Marty Morningwood talked about it's a 180-degree turn for him last year compared to this year, just how much better he is and how much more comfortable he is.
Let's see what he does on third down. This is Powell, and Powell trying the right side and gets the first down. Out to the 44, close to the 45-yard line. And Mike Vick comes trotting onto the field.
Well, the Jets bring in 3 tight ends.
Vick takes the snap, rolling this way. And under pressure and goes down. Chased down by Clay Matthews.
That's just a one-man route. You can see he's trying to look to the backside. He has a backside deep post going on with a throwback underneath. I thought he was going to take off and run. He made that initial read. I thought he realized what was going on and would take off. Puts him in a tough second long.
2nd and 13 now for Geno Smith. Running out of time, throws far side, wide open is Bohannon, and Bohannon across midfield has a first down inside the Green Bay 45.
And that's a great decision by Geno Smith, realizing there's nothing up the field. You see with his eyes, he's tracking up the field. He knows where his outlet is. He gets over to him. This isn't the time of the game where you want to take some major chances. You still have plenty of time left on the clock. You still have a couple of timeouts, or you still have one timeout.
On first down, Chris Johnson to the 40.
Now, you do obviously get to certain times in the game where you have to be a little bit more risky, but that wasn't the time. So good decision by Geno, dumping it off and putting him in field position.
We come up on 6.5 minutes to play in the fourth. 2nd and 8. The handoff again to Johnson, and Johnson inside the 40 to about the 37-yard line. Those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, this is the NFL on CBS in the game between the Jets and the Green Bay Packers. Along with Trent Green and Evan Washburn, I'm Greg Gumbel. It is 31-24 Green Bay. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast. 3rd and 5. Bilal Powell doesn't get close to a first down. So what does Rex Ryan do here?
Well, considering in the first half he went for it on 4th down when he was already in field goal range, this isn't necessarily field goal range. This here would be 54, 55-yard kick. And yes, Folk can make this distance of a kick, but I think Rex's track record shows he's going for it.
1 for 1 on 4th down today. Smith going deep for it all to the end zone. Caught for a touchdown. Jeremy Curley.
They had blown the whistle before the play was snapped.
Prior to the snap, New York called its 3rd and final timeout.
Because of the crowd noise, it was hard to hear the whistle.
You can read Rex Ryan's lips. He said, "Who called timeout?" Rex Ryan is saying, "I didn't call timeout. Who called a timeout?" Let's see if we can hear a whistle. Was that Marty Morningweg at the top of the screen? Wow. Wow.
Let's see if we can find it on the replay. Greg just mentioned Marty Morningweg. Where is he?
Right.
Oh, here he is up here. That's where Marty is. So let's see if he goes running down and calls a timeout. He's yelling it, calling for it.
Please reset the game clock to 5:06. 5:06 on the game clock.
So we'll do 4th and 4 again.
5:06. Thank you.
Geno Smith throwing this side, and that's complete at the 30-yard line for a first down to David Nelson. Well, the word we're getting from Mike Carey, our official expert in New York, is that only the head coach can call a timeout from the sideline.
Well, to defend the official, he can't turn and see who it is that's calling it, but Morningweg was running down the sideline trying to get Rex Ryan's attention.
This is Chris Ivory. Ivory inside the 30. So what just happened was on 4th and 4, Geno Smith threw a touchdown pass to Jeremy Curley. However, Marty Morningweg apparently signaled for a timeout on the sideline, which negated the touchdown. And our officiating expert in New York, Mike Carey, says that's strange because only a head coach can call a timeout. But as you point out, Trent, the officials can't really turn and identify. 2nd and 8. Running out of time. Got the snap off. Geno Smith throwing far side of the field, tipped in the air, incomplete. Intended for Chris Johnson, broken up by Julius Peppers.
Well, and that's a size mismatch for Julius Peppers, but great job by Chris Johnson going up and preventing Peppers from coming down with that football. Geno Smith was under duress. He was getting pressure, and he had to get rid of the football. Nice job by Chris Johnson.
Geno Smith, 3 for his last 10 throwing. 3rd and 8. With time, throwing, incomplete at the 15-yard line, and he had Curley open.
He had Curley open, but someone tipped it at the line of scrimmage. They're bringing everybody from the right side. Does a nice job. Curley does. It's almost an out with a sit down. We call that a stop route. We just give the corner an out move, and then you just sit right at the top of the numbers. It's a spot throw for the quarterback. But there's a Green Bay defender that got a hand on it.
4th and 8. Here they come. Smith throwing to the end zone, in the air, incomplete. Jeremy Curley wants a call. He's not getting one. Sam Shields with the defensive play, and the ball goes over to the Packers on down.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by America's Navy and by Subway Restaurants. Fuel your training routine at Subway. Subway. Train hard, eat fresh.
Welcome back to Lambeau Field. 31-24 Packers, 3.5 to play. Let's go back to that one play, Trent.
Well, this is 4th and 4, and you'll see Marty Morningweg right here, but Rex Ryan's right next to the official. So the head coach is the only coach on the sideline that can call a timeout. Marty Mornwick runs down, and he's yelling at Rex Ryan for the timeout, but the official can't turn and see who's calling it. Rex Ryan doesn't call the timeout. It's Marty that's yelling for a timeout. But the official blows the whistle.
And it wiped out the touchdown pass to Curley, and then the 4th down attempt there. Incomplete. And the Jets are out of timeouts with 3.5 to play. Lacey. And the Jets cannot stop the clock. A reminder, 60 minutes coming up next here on CBS.
Green Bay is not going to completely forget about the pass here now. They've got to get a first down for this clock to run out. Even though the Jets have no timeout, it's important for Green Bay not to give the ball back to the Jets, just to give them a desperation try at the end of the game. So even though they ran on first down, that's to keep the clock moving. But don't be surprised if on 2nd or 3rd down they try a short pass, keep them in bounds, and try and continue this clock moving.
Yeah, leave it on. Green 18. Green 18 up.
Lacey again, left side. And he pushes his way out close to the 35-yard line. And the Packers can take this right to the 2-minute warning. Jets jumped off to a 21-3 lead. Got a turnover on the very first snap of the game when Aaron Rodgers fumbled. Turned it into a touchdown, jumped to a 21-3 lead, and then back came the Packers. So it'll be a 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in Green Bay. 31-24 Packers. A reminder, tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and Alabama's head coach Nick Saban, followed by a new episode of Big Brother and the season finale of Unforgettable. Tonight, only CBS. What do the Packers do here, Trent?
Well, there's 2 trains of thought. Offensive mentality is to throw the ball, attack, and try and not give the ball back to the other team. Defensive mentality would be run the ball. If you pick it up, great. Then punt it and trust your defense.
Rodgers going to throw it. Quick pass, complete for first down and more. There goes Nelson to midfield, and that'll put the icing on the cake for the Green Bay Packers.
And if I had Aaron Rodgers, I'd have that offensive mentality and be aggressive and go for it. And
Aaron Rodgers just passed Bart Starr for the 2nd most yards in franchise history, behind only Brett Favre.
And Jordy Nelson just went over 200 yards receiving. So, and that play just cinched the game for the Packers.
24,732. Rodgers takes the knee, and one more knee will do it. Green Bay gets into the win column here at home and will next take on Detroit and then Chicago. So big games in the NFC North, followed by Minnesota as well. The Jets gave it a battle. They will next play Chicago on Monday night. And that'll do it. The Jets had it early. The Packers came on strong late. And Green Bay wins its 51st home opener. And 699 regular season wins for this great franchise. Aaron Rodgers engineered the comeback, and he did it well. Once again, our final score: the Green Bay Packers 31 and the New York Jets 24. Coming up next, 60 Minutes, followed by The Big Bang Theory and back-to-back episodes of Unforgettable. For Trent Green, Evan Washburn, and our entire crew here in Green Bay, Greg Gumbel saying so long from Lambeau. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.